People deluded, I'm back again. Now, Glen Kamara and Daniel Crowley, however you want to pronounce his name. Crowley was more highly rated than Kamara for obvious reasons. Kamara, ironically, is the only one out of the two that's actually made his official debut at first team level. If you remember in the Carling Cup a couple years ago, forgive me if I'm wrong. Crowley obviously done his thing in pre-season in China one year, but he didn't get a chance. Through injuries, through consistency, through a lack of a pathway, through competition, through, like Wenger allegedly said, that he's not physically robust enough for the Premier League. We don't know. He moved to Holland. His first period in Holland, his year for me, it took a bit of adapting. He went out on loan. This year, he's looked a different player, and I believe his contract is up in 2020, so you'd like to think in the summer they're going to renew him and give him, in his team in William, they have to renew his deal and give him a significantly better contract or a more healthier contract, or possibly hire teams in Holland or teams in the Championship. Possibly, I don't think he's ready for Premier League level, but possibly Premier League level or just high reputable leagues have to be taking note. You'd imagine the Republic of Ireland boss is taking note as well, because he's rebuilding his career. He's become an important player. I mean, he's scoring goals. He's asserting himself in games in terms of passing. He's taking responsibility. Not the game they played last fixture in William, but the game before that, he scored a decisive penalty to claim his fourth goal, I believe, of the season. From the spot, he's got 5 goals in the league this year. I think 6 in all totals. So he's doing all right, man. He's rebuilding his career. Obviously, it's not his fault, but a lot was put on him. A lot of hype, even when he was at Villa doing his thing. A lot of hype would have still been there if he left. Obviously, come Arsenal now, and as silly as it sounds, him being highly rated and being dubbed as the next Jack Wilshere, this, that, and the other, as much as it harms him, that's the reason he's at the club. That's the bare minimum. You look at City, you say Jadon Sancho, Foden, Diaz, they're all sick, but why do you think some leave? It's not just about being sick, it's a melting pot, and that's the reason, that's the entry requirements. Being an exceptionally good footballer, being one of the top 1% young footballers is what gets you into these clubs. We know there's competition, we know there's first team dynamics that really is sink or swim, and certain circumstances have to open up to let young players thrive. So it didn't happen for Crowley, but he can't control the hype. Many people will say this, that, and the other. I always say to people, what if these players' careers, this is always meant to happen? I think Holland's probably been good for him. He's got away from all the hype and the high scrutiny of whatever he does on a football field. It's a more technically based league, because I feel he showed patches at Oxford and Barnsley when he was still at Arsenal on loan. But because of the way these teams wanted to play, because of politics very quickly in fact, the initial promise or the couple of good games were offset by underwhelming ones, or being forced into positions where he couldn't really excel, to be fair with you. Like I said, he's playing with more maturity, he's playing with more decisiveness, he looks more hungry for it as well, and he's just playing to a higher level. So I'm happy to see it. Back to Glen Kamara though, I almost spent so long on this. Like I said, you obviously remember his debut. He got released from Arsenal, ironically went back to Southend. I believe he spent some time there before he came to Arsenal as a schoolboy. Hasn't been easy for him. Went to Dundee, put in some good performances, and now he's playing at Rangers. He's played a good part of their season, playing for Gerrard at Rangers, and this shows you what you can do and how much you can rebuild your career. I like to track their careers, man. I like to see, obviously, Chris Willock didn't renew his deal. He's at Benfica. Hopefully he makes his debut either this season or next year. Benatia, the success story, the biggest success story really, because he weren't trying to play under 23s. I really believed he could have played first team here. He's left, he went Empoli, and now you're seeing sides like Roma and Napoli linked. You're seeing a lot of players go on and do. Gnabry's obviously doing his thing, flying high. Jeffrey Ayadele, so Marlon's playing at the Nou Camp and things like that in Champions League ties. I like to track their progress and see their development, because they're still Arsenal men to me, and I like young players. So I'm wishing Crowley all the best. You'd like to think an Ireland call-up, or he's at least been mentioned in regards to Republic of Ireland duty by the scouts or whoever's involved, in my opinion. But it's just down for both to keep working, and it just shows you, man, when one door closes, another one opens, and if you just get your head down and work, things can happen for you. And it just shows you how long a career is, because Crowley has seen a lot already. He's been that young wonder kid at Villa, Arsenal. I've already spoken about the context of Arsenal. He's left and moved to another country, and it's not been easy for him, but he's come through it. And he's still in his early 20s, so there's a lot of twists and turns, positives and negatives that will go out through his career. hopefully all I can do is say all these young players, the one thing I don't want to see is anyone getting any injuries, really, because that's the one thing you can't control, really. That's the one thing I feel is a killer in terms of potential, because you can't control that. Obviously not being given a chance, philosophy, position, all of these things, they're not right, but you can get away with them or around them at certain other circumstances. There's no way of getting another kneecap back, or having to get your ankle fused, or not being able to play to the same level because of certain injuries and having to play in a different way. Them things there are cruel, and I really hope nobody gets that, to be fair, not just in football but in life. But we're going off topic now, man. So yeah, man, people, them two there, I've been looking at them and I'm proud of how they've managed to keep going. Because don't get it twisted, many people have been released or let go from clubs and they're not playing football anymore, Arsenal included. So it's nice to see people, especially Kamara, is still keeping it going, man. It's off topic as well, but things like seeing guys like Bowler at Blackpool playing well and stuff like that, I like to see these sort of things, man. Chory Johnson's still at Bolton, I believe, so it's nice to see these sort of things. But I've got nothing more to add, so I'm going to get out of here, man. People, deluded, comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. I'm out.